It is another beautiful day for Philippine volleyball as today the final chapter begins for the UAAP Season 86 Boys Volleyball Tournament on Pilipinas Live, which means we shall feature JJ Macam and the rest of the UE Junior Red Warriors take on Miguel Eager and the rest of the NU Nazareth School Bullpups in the finals of the boys division. These two teams battled it out in the tournament with UE winning in round number 1, but NU got its revenge in round number 2. And so now they face in the finals to be followed by the girls step ladder tournament of UST and NUNS that's seeded 2 and 3 in the girls division. That's happening at 3 p.m. later on today. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service as we come to you live from the historic Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in the city of San Juan. Boy, do we have a lot to cover for you guys today because this is a nice rivalry going on in the UAP High School Boys Division. NU is the very team that snapped the championship winning streak of the UE Junior Red Warriors back in the day. And that's why there's a bit of revenge happening today if you're on the side of UE. But of course, if you're Coach Edgar Baroga and the rest of NU, you also want to get yourselves back on top because they were second placers last year to the FEU Baby Tamaraws. Now, let's talk about some of the teams that we have here in the finals, beginning with Coach Rafi Mosuela's UE Junior Red Warriors. This is a squad that was able to defeat FEU in their Final Four clash. That's after having a slow start, by the way, losing the first set with a score of 8-25. But they were able to bounce back quickly, recovered to get that win, and this would be their first finals appearance since season 78. Imagine that, that's 8 years ago. And during that time, before season 78, they were actually champions 14 times already here in the high school boys division. That's why JJ Macam will look to bring back the glory days to the UE Junior Red Warriors as, of course, the reigning second best open spiker in this tournament. And he is one of our MVP candidates for this year. And of course, he's teaming up with one of the stars of UE in Cyrone Montemayor, who stepped up as an open spiker in the semifinals because JJ Macam had to transition onto the opposite side. But Cyrone definitely delivered. That's why he was the best player of the game in their previous outing. It's going to be interesting how those two players can be able to step up for today for Coach Rafi Mosuela against the Titans that is the NU Nazareth Bullpups. Now let's talk more about this game. Of course, if you talk about UE, we have to talk about NU Nazareth School because, okay, later on, we're going to talk about the NU Nazareth School Bullpups. Right now, let's focus more on the UE Junior Red Warriors because we got to talk to Cyrone Montemayor before this game. So let's watch this.
Anong pakiramdam ng team ninyo nitong nakaraang araw na pinaghahandaan nyo tong finals?
Masaya po kasi po matagal na po namin hinahangad tong finals na po to na matagal na po namin hinahangad na si coach po kasi gusto niya po makapasok kami sa finals and gusto rin po namin mag-champion.
Ano ang pinakamalaking challenge tuwing nakakalaban nyo ang NU?
Sa blockings po kasi po malalaki po sila and nagdo-double time naman po kami kung paano po namin uutakan ng blockings po na kailangan po namin.
Things are definitely looking up for Cyrone Montemayor and the rest of the UE Junior Red Warriors in this game. Again, it's going to be interesting how we can step up for Coach Rafi Mosuela. Now let's transition to the NU Nazareth School Bullpups. Let's talk about their semis journey. It was only one game as well versus a UST team that actually beat them in the first set in a tight matchup. Coach Edgar Baroga, though, was able to get things around for NU and they were able to reverse sweep them after that opening set loss against UST. This is their 4th straight finals appearance and Coach Edgar has definitely found a lot of success already here in the high school ranks. He has gone to the finals 4 other times. Sorry, let's change that. He has gone to the finals 7 other times and he has won the championship 4 times already here in the high school division. Now that guy has been stepping up for him. Kobe Akaak, ever since starting for the NU Bullpups, has been one of their stars from the opposite angle. And of course, that complements their setter, that is Jeff Gallego, who has been the leader for NU ever since, of course, being named as the best setter in UAP Season 85. And this year, not only is he stepping up as a team captain for NU, but boy, his setting has been no less than magnificent for the Bullpups in this tournament. We were also able to talk to him beforehand, so let's listen into this.
Gaano kasaya yung team na nakabalik kayo sa finals?
Yung pagkasaya po namin is parang na-expect po namin na, di po namin na-expect na pupunta po kami sa finals. Then, sobrang saya po namin kasi andito na kami ulit sa finals. Then, ito yung pinaghirapan po namin.
Ano yung mga naging focus nyo sa ensayo para sa laban nyo dito sa UE?
I think po yung pinagandaan po namin sila, tsaka nag-double time po kami or triple time sa training. And marami po kaming ginawang play din sa blockings and para ma-counter po namin yung play nila sa UE.
There you have it, the top playmaker for NU in this season, and he might just be the top playmaker for the whole of the UAAP in Jeff Gallego. Now, before I let you guys go on a simple break, I want to get this announcement out to everybody watching. We have a challenge system here in the finals of the boys division. There will be 2 challenges per team. Of course, if they would have successful challenges, they can carry on to have a lot more challenges in each set that we would have. There you have it, folks. Coming right up, it's game number 1 between UE and NU in the boys high school division.
Mr. Antonio Espartero. Second referee, Mr. Erwin Cordero. Let's now meet the starters. First, for the University of the East, Junior Warriors. Let's start with our team captain, who wears jersey number 5, John Julian Maca. At number 7, Lance Baboy. At number 8, Siren Montemayor. At number 10, Luis Polientes. At number 12, John Romer Sumagaysay. At number 14, Clarence Kayana. Starting libero at number 1, Unreal Quadra. Head coach of the Junior Warriors, Mr. Rafi Mosuela. Calling on our Nazareth School of National University Bullpups. Let's start with our team captain. He wears jersey number 2, Jeff Gallego. At number 8, Matthew Abbott. At number 10, Cart Lascuna. At number 16, Dave Lardizabal. At number 17, Miguel Ecker. At number 18, Kobe Akaa. Starting libero at number 5, Sherwin Retiro. Head coach of the Bullpups, Mr. Edgar Barroga. It's the Junior Warriors.
Presenting the starters of UE, we have Macam, Gianan, Babon, Quadra, Montemayor, Polientes, and Sumagaysay. They're wearing white with complementary red for today. And as for NU, we have Akaak, Lardizabal, Lascuna, Retiro, Abut, Eager, and Gallego. NU Nazareth School is wearing dark blue with complementary white and gold in game number 1 of the finals. Again, we thank you for joining us. This is the final chapter commencing for the boys division in UAAP season 86. And there's a lot in terms of the heated rivalry between NU and UE. In this season alone, UE was able to defeat NU in 5 emotional and pressure-packed sets in the opening round of the tournament. But in the second round, Jeff Gallego and the rest of NU Nazareth School got their revenge in 3 straight sets. And that was their last game in the preliminaries. The main reason why they were able to bag the number 1 seed approaching the final 4. UE did have twice the heat advantage as the number 2 seeded team. That's why they were able to capitalize it as well against FEU, while NU outlasted UST. Gallego will start things off with his serve. Receive for Macam. The chase by Sumagaysay. Montemayor from the right pin. That was put up by Jeff. And there's Kobe Akaak, who has been a rising star for NU. Back row hit. That's outside for JJ Macam. JJ Macam is one of our MVP candidates in UAAP season 86, but in the semifinals, he transitioned into being an opposite spiker from being an open spiker, which was actually the game plan all season long for Coach Rafi Mosuela. Running hit. Nice block by NU. One more time. Babon. Counter. Akaak. Nice coverage by NU Nazareth School. Hart Lascuña though tried to go with his off-speed hit, but it didn't work for him. It's 4 touches for NU. 1-0 to begin things in the finals. Coach Edgar Baroga has been well decorated with 7 finals appearances here in the UAAP high school ranks, and he has won 4 championships already. Chased by Jeff Gallego. Chance ball UE. Sumagaysay looks up and sets to the middle, and that meets the line for Clarence Gianan. The son of the proud mom, that is Penelope Atip, a former UP player herself, producing one heck of a gem for UE. Now they have the advantage as John Sumagaysay serves. 2-1. Dardizabal from the middle. That's long. And now the tides have changed quickly in favor of UE, as the guys in white now have a 2-point advantage. John Sumagaysay will be serving once more. The starting setter all season long for UE, and he is one of their graduating players. Receive for Sherwin Retiro, and that receive makes that middle attack possible. As Dardizabal delivered, it was easy for Jeff Gallego to set things up, his middle hitter, which was a common theme for NU in the semifinals. 2-3. Hart Lascuña will now be serving. Opposite hit. Babon is rejected by one of the youngest guys playing for NU in Matthew Abud. Three all now. A nice equalizer for NU Nazareth School. Lascuña will send it outside. That's not good. Coach Edgar did not like that one. They have been practicing their serves in their training sessions. That's one of the keys that allowed them to win versus UE in the second round. Kinargahan nila kanilang mga serves to challenge the first ball of UE. And here's Lance Babon, the younger brother of Kuya Francis, a former team captain himself for UE back in the day. But now we just saw a strong down-the-line hit by Kobe Akaak, to the delight of the NU fans inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. Kobe Akaak was the best player in that second round game between NU and UST. Ever since he was able to back that award, he continued to rise for Coach Edgar Baroga. Here he is as a consistent starter. Lascuña could not dig that ball up. That's a point for Cyrone Montemayor. I mentioned JJ Macam had to transition from the open to the opposite, which meant that Cyrone Montemayor would be getting more balls from the left pin. That has been the strategy for Coach Rafi Mosuela here in the postseason. As now there was an error committed by NU, and we shall have our very first challenge in the UAAP High School Division. Unfortunately, NU did not raise the card, the challenge card, or there could have been a problem with the challenge system as well. That's why we shall not proceed. So, we carry on. Chased by Gallego. Back set onto Kobe. Ball put up, and that's tight. Sent back by NU. Cyron Montemayor. Nice net defense by Eager and Akaak. One more time, Cyron checks it out just to be sure. That's off of the hands of Kobe Akaak. Seven serving 4. It's back to a 3-point advantage for UE. Gannon serves. Retiro with the receive. Eager hit. That doesn't work. Push. Good chance now for NU. Matthew Abbott. What a cross-court hit by the youngster. Soft-spoken as he is, when he plays on the court, you will definitely feel his presence. Five to 7 now. NU keeping it tight as Kobe Akaak serves. Straight to the back. Quadra over-received that ball. Good chance now for NU. Unfortunately, the set is too high. Makam battled it out with Abbott. Back row push by Babon. Gallego. Wow. That was from the pipe and from the right side, courtesy of Kobe Akaak. Showing us why the trust continues to pay off between Kobe and Coach Edgar Baroga. 6 serving 7. Ball up by Quadra. Sumagaysay back sets onto Makam. Ball deflected. Gallego will go to Abbott. Not the best of sets though. Quadra. Back set. Ball put up again by Retiro. And here's Matthew Abbott with a tip. Sumagaysay keeping it alive. Nice rally. Makam pushes. That's a smart hit. And you know what? He has been known for those out-of-system plays all season long. JJ Makam alongside Lance Babon. They've had that reputation. And that's why NU tells us that in order to neutralize both Makam and Babon, it has to come initially from their first serves. Or from their serves. Kargado pa. Kargado pa lalo para mas mahirapan ang attackers ng UE. Here's Matthew Abbott for retribution, finding a hole in the middle. That's a nice power hit. And no one was absolutely near the ball to try to even save it. Beautiful start here for Matthew Abbott. And now they have a chance to tie things up once more. 7 serving 8. Ball up by Lance Babon. Sumagaysay onto the slide. Kobe was there with a smile for the dig. And that cross-court works. Carlos Cunha just had to send it through. And that's all that they needed in order to get that point. Total miscue between Babon and Montemayor there. And here's Matthew Abbott. 8-all. Ball up by Quadra. Sumagaysay opens up. Montemayor is rejected. And now, NU Nazareth School has the advantage. Down by as many as 3 points early in this match, Jeff Gallego and company kept themselves composed. Now, can they maximize having this advantage and further stretch it? Sumagaysay onto Montemayor. That doesn't work. Counter for Las Cunha. Nice block. Gallego, the former opposite spiker, sent it to the other side. Counter for Makam. And that's why he is one of our MVP candidates. JJ Makam with a back row hit. Well, this guy actually went to the same grade school as Mark Espejo. Not sure if you would want to argue if he has some similarities with the Phenom. But if you want to have that conversation, then go ahead. as Montemayor has had a service error. Now, services on the other end for UE has been a problem for them ever since their second round matchup against NU. In volleyball terms, they would describe it as lugaw, kung saan madali siyang tanggapin ng mga kalaban with their receive. Slide. That's long for Polientes. Coach Rafi just gave out some instructions in order to neutralize the pressure for his boys. It's now 11 serving 9. Miguel Eager, the best player in the semifinals for NU. Stepping up for that serve with the help of the net. Almost got an ace. That's a back row hit for Cyrone. Didn't work. Ardizabal sets up Las Cunha. That off speed was read well. Sumagay side to the open. Down the line hit. And it's going to be a point for NU. First referee ruled it out. Again, we have a challenge here. Are we going to be able to utilize it already for the side of UE? They're trying to raise the card as well. All right, so we shall proceed. All right, so instead it was a net fault. Lance Babon apparently touched the net when he swung for that ball. So we shall proceed with a score of 12-9, make that 13-9, and now Coach Rafi has to call for time. Biggest lead for NU Nazareth School. From the side of UE. So if you're catching this on Pilipinas Live and on the UAAP Varsity channel, do invite your friends and family to join us as well, as you just got to see a running hit by Luis Polientes. That's definitely a good sign for UE. Polientes will now be serving. They're down by 3. Received by Retiro, who has been playing a lot better lately. Macam sending it to the other side. A chance ball for NU. That attack was off time for Ardizabal. That's why it sailed wide. So we have seen a mini response so far for UE. 2 straight points, but can they continue? As Polientes serves Las Cunha with the receive. Ooh, miscue. Chance down for UE. Back row, JJ Macam. Tough dig there by Retiro. And that's tight for Las Cunha. He's able to get it through. Sumagay side, Macam again. And here's the question. At this early in this match, purporsyento na ba si John Sumagaysay papunta kay JJ Macam? (12-13). Chance for UE to tie after 3 straight points from their side. Jeff Gallego onto Las Cunha, ball deflected. Great net defense, and here's the counter. That's outside off of the block. And there's the equalizer for University of the East. 13-all in set number 1. Coach Edgar now be buzzing for a timeout of his own. Now Jeff Gallego, the rest of NU are put to the test once more after things have been tied by UE. You just saw Jeff do a gesture there to calm down his team, which has been his job all season long as their team captain. Push by Ardizabal. Babon Nice off-system hit once more. That was definitely tight. I did mention he's known for those types of hits. He's able to get it off of the hand of Jeff Gallego for that point. 14-13. Luis Polientes. Straight to the back. Retiro got the receive. Nice approach by Kobe Akaak. And no more pancakes saved right there for UE. Tied again at 14 in game number 1. We're still in set number 1. Just the beginning, folks. Long way to go here. Jeff Gallego. Not slow. And he knew it. As soon as he hit that ball. And he quickly apologizes to Coach Edgar Baroga. Coach Edgar mentioned to us that one problem that his team had was some relaxation happening in the off-season. Once you get used to a certain system, you might be getting bored. That's why he actually changed the system, changed some drills and how they would practice in order to freshen things up for Carlos Cunha and the rest of NU, and it has definitely worked for them in this season. They just scored, that's why it's 15-all. Another deadlock. Carlos Cunha. Straight to the back, Babon with the receive. He's gonna get it again, and that cross-court hit drops straight to the line. Back and forth we have gone. UE with the lead again. Babon will be serving. Abut got the receive. Matthew. Was that off of JJ? Looks like it was. That's actually the main reason why JJ Makam is at the right pin, to try to block these attacks of the open spikers, Matthew Abut and Carlos Cunha. 16-all. Ball up by Quadra. Ooh, the combination play turned out to be a miscue. And so the lead is now with NU. Coach Rafi pointing at something or maybe someone at the bench. Oh, these two coaches have definitely switched things up a lot of times already in the season. We've seen the caliber of their second units. So we should not be surprised if substitutions would be made. All right, so UE just attacked from the left pin. And now our first referee will be having a word with our linesman and the second referee. So the ruling is the ball went outside. That was the initial call of the linesman who had the ball drop in front of him. So it's now 18-16. Erdizabal sending it in. Sumagaysay, combination. JJ Makam coming out on top. Counter for Abut, and that's outside off of the block. First referee again looking around. The official call is outside in favor of NU. It's actually great net defense if you think about it for UE. You can't blame yourself too much if the ball goes out. 19 serving 16 now. Biggest lead was 4. Sumagaysay, Makam. Ball returns to the UE side, and that's an easy one for Clarence Gianna. Now, this is some great experience being built by Clarence on the finals stage because he's going to be one of the leaders of UE next year alongside Lance Babon. The rest of their starting 6 will be graduating, as there was an easy ball granted onto Luis Polientes. (18-19). Our two teams not pulling away from each other. They're keeping it tight, much to our delight. Here's Clarence, sending that ball in. Combination on the other end. Nice read by Luis Polientes. And guess what? We're tied again. 19-all. What a battle so far. Here's Clarence. Ball up by Cart Lascuna. Abot from the middle. Yes. A nice answer from the grade 11 student. We've been seeing a lot of combination plays lately. Let's see if that trend will continue as Kobe Akaak serves. Straight to Lance Babon. Sumagay Sai. Back set to JJ. Ball up by Briones. Back row hit. One more chance. Left pin. Montemayor. How about Jake Briones keeping that ball alive? The rally continues. Sumagay Sai. JJ Macam is rejected. What a block by Matthew Abbott. And he celebrates with Coach Edgar Baroga. By the way, we have to credit half of that point to Jake Briones for that wonderful dive. And then the other half onto Matthew Abbott, who's going to be matched up with JJ Macam all day long. 21-19. Sumagay Sai, combination JJ. Ball has gone to him more often than not the past few sequences. Lead is down to 1. As now, Ralph Mosuela checks in alongside Lance Flestado. That's her double sub to replace Sumagay Sai and Macam. Ralph Mosuela will be serving, the son of Coach Rafi himself. Serving 21. Mosuela sends that ball straight to Abbott. Matthew going cross. Ball put up by Mosuela. Cross court doesn't work as well for UE. Counter, Kobe. And off of the blockers that ball went. Kobe Akaak has been an answer from the opposite side for NU Nazareth School. 22-20 now. Abbott sending that ball out. That's the last thing that you would want to see if you're NU giving up a 3-point. You see the reaction of Coach Edgar Baroga. Now there's another chance to equalize for UE. Served by Montemayor. Briones over receives, and that's an easy one. And Coach Edgar tried to ask for a net touch, but they won't be challenging here. 22-all. Montemayor. Received this time by the libero. That's their starting libero in Sherwin Retiro. And a quick answer for NU from the left pin. See what happened there. Gallego going straight to Cart Lascuna. Against 3 blockers, he scores 23-22 now. Miguel Eager will be doing the honors. Ball up by Andrel Cuadra. Left pin. That was read well. Counter. Las Cunha. Yes! A smart play by Cart Las Cunha. Just to get it off of the hands of the blockers in front of him. And that's 2 set points now for NU. Coach Rafi will be calling for time. Double sub back in for Coach Rafi Masuela. This is basically his emergency button as Macam and Sumagaysay are set to return to replace Lestado and Ralph Masuela. Let's see if they can make a difference, because the room for error is basically 0 now for UE. 24 serving 22. 2 set points for NU. Miguel Eager will be doing the honors. Ball straight to net. Sumagaysay looks and sets up Lance Babon. Straight to the back row. Lead down to 1. And we have a timeout on the other end for Coach Edgar Baroga. Still is 1 set point for NU Nazareth School. Well, let's see if that timeout iced the server, that is Luis Polientes for UE. That serve goes in. Retiro got the first ball. Here's Cart Las Cunha with the tip. Nice read by Cyrone. Counter. Lance Babon straight to the blockers there. And so we have an extended set number 1 in game number 1 of the finals. Just as what we expected. These two teams have been going toe-to-toe since the start of the season, and it even stretches back to the last decade of UAAP high school volleyball. Ball put up by Las Cunha. He's gonna hit once more. And that time, it's a check. But there's another set point for NU Nazareth School. And that's off of the hand of Clarence Gianan. 25-24, Jeff Gallego. Sumagaysay, combination. Lance Babon, that's outside. It looks like there was a check. And so we have another deadlock, 25 all. Sumagaysay will be serving. Full rotation, full front line for UE. Can they capitalize on this? Ball up by Retiro. Gallego, combination to Las Cunha, who's rejected. Nice coverage by Kobe, who will now hit. Going cross. Counter for UE. Lance Babon. Ball put up by Matthew Abbott. Las Cunha again. What a save by John Sumagaysay. And Babon will give up a free ball. Gallego will choose Lardizabal, who will put that ball down. 26-25. Another set point for NU. How about David Lardizabal, who had to battle through back spasms all season long. Now he's back, feeling 100% and delivering some big-time points for NU. Now Cart Las Cunha will be serving for the set. Serve received by Babon. Combination. And JJ Macam answers back once more. What a set number 1, 26 all. Let's see if UE can finally buy itself a set point. Lance Babon. That's an over-receive. And there it is, set point for the Junior Red Warriors. The first for them in this match. JJ Macam just had to reach for that ball with his left hand. But even Clarence Gianan was ready to pound it through. Lance Babon serves. Straight to the back. And that meets the line for David Lardizabal. 27-all in set number 1. That's a nice hit. His body was going left, and he had to send that ball straight to the right. Now we have a fresh substitution for NU. Charles Panessa will be serving for them. Another one of their graduating players. To take the lead back, if you're NU. Open hit, Montemayor checks that ball out. Set point, UE. So UE, if they get this point, will get the set. If not, then we'll reach 30 points to begin things in the finals. Matthew Abbott, 28-all. How about that? For the first set in these finals, this is a best of 3 finals. It's gonna be a long journey. For the first set, we're gonna see at least 30 on board, and that's at least. Babon with the receive. Sumagaysay, Macam, ball deflected. Gallego looks and sets. Matthew Abbott, nice block, great coverage. And Abbott recovers quickly. Just dropping that ball straight to the line. 29-28 NU. That's a beautiful, intelligent play by the youngster. Set point, NU Nazareth School, 29-28. Kobe Akaak. Ball up by Babon. Sumagaysay. Back to Cyrone. Nice net defense by NU. Montemayor again. Was there a check? Well, that ball went in. And so, we're tied once more. 29-all. If you're watching this, might as well come join us here in San Juan. We're inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in what might just be another classic in the UAAP's set of games. Middle hit, Miguel Eager scores. Set point NU. (30-29). And here's Matthew Abbott. Taking his time. Now he serves. Received by Quadra. Sumagaysay to the quick. What a response by UE. This back and forth is just amazing to witness. Everybody is just playing on top of his game. Montemayor serves. Receive for Abbott. Las Cunha sending it to the back. Sumagaysay chases. Tough back set onto JJ. Retiro. Gallego to Eager. Could not score. Sumagaysay back to the open. Ball deflected. A good chance now for NU. Las Cunha with the hammer. A lot of people might have known it. Buelo pa lang, ang ganda na para kay Las Cunha. And so the delivery was completed. 31-30. Will there be a switch here for NU? Lardizabal is looking to check in. But we shall continue. Panessa will stay on the court. And that scramble will cause a point onto the UE side. 31 all. Napangiti at napatawa na lang si Coach Edgar Baroga. Good for UE to stay composed, stay focused for that point there. We're extended once more. 31 all in set number 1. Luis Pulientes. That's out. The first service error in our extension. But Rafi Masuela having some words for his players. Trying to keep them calm. Set point, NU. 32-31. Here's Jeff Gallego, a full front line for NU Nazareth School. Sumagaysay. That goes through for Lance Babon. Las Cunha, that's low for him. 32 all. We shall carry on. This is what the finals is all about. John Sumagaysay. Ball up by Retiro. Lardizabal pushes. Against 2 blockers, he scores. NU with another set point. That has been the pattern. NU gets the lead. Then UE will tie things up. (33-32). Cartas Cunha. That's out. 33 all. The first service error of NU in the extension. Lance Babon will now be serving. Can UE actually get the lead? Combination. Met at the net. Sumagaysay to the open. Ascuna faking the attack, and Kobe Akaak targeting zone number 6, and that works for him. Getting the check and the point as well. How about this guy blossoming into one of the most reliable scorers for Coach Edgar Baroga. Another set point for NU. Lardizabal sending it in. Sumagaysay to the open. Another response. 34 all. Are we actually gonna reach 40 for set number 1? This must be some sort of record already in the UAAP. Either way, we'll take it. Ball up by Retiro. Gallego, back set, that's tough. Battle at the net, and it's won by UE as Kobe Akaak apparently crossed the line. So now UE has a set point, and it seems like the challenge system is currently down. That's why we could not push through with the challenges so far. That ends Gianan. That's out. Tied up again. 35 all. This is just the first game for today, by the way. We still have the girls' step ladder later on between NU and UST, which might not start at 3 p.m. anymore. But again, we'll gladly take this action. Makam from the middle. Will this be JJ Makam's time now? He hasn't gotten a ton of hits, actually, if you think about it. More so, it has been Lance Babon and Cyrone Montemayor hitting for UE. Now Makam is at the back row. 36-35. Set point for the Junior Red Warriors. Gallego onto Abot. Another equalizer. 36 all. Matthew Abot saying, no sir, not yet done. He still wants to serve. Here he is. Ball up by Babon. Sumagay side chases. Back set to JJ. Porsyento na. On to the star of UE. (37-36). Set point for the 14-time UAAP High School Champions. Siron Montemayor. Ball up by Retiro. Gallego to Las Cunha. And no blockers were near Kurt as he was approaching for that ball. What a nice setup by Jeff Gallego. That's an easy one. 37 all. Miguel Eager. Back at it. That's in. Sumagay Sai. Combination. Babon. Eager putting it up. That's a nice dig. Ball deflected. Now a chance for UE. Makam with the tip. Nascuña keeping it alive. And there's the drop by David Lardizabal. 38-37 NU. Straight to the donut hole. Can NU take this set? Or can UE score again to ultimately push us to 40? Sumagay Sai. That's Makam. Rejected. Battle at the net. Sumagay Sai. And the cross court sails outside. NU will get the first set with a score of 39-37. Let's go straight to the highlights. Boy, was it such an entertaining opener for the finals. The back and forth was truly majestic to watch. David Ardizabal coming alive, especially in these last moments. JJ Makam tried to answer to the call of Coach Rafi. By the end, he was getting almost all of the balls, but it was not enough against Cart Nascuña and the rest of NU Nazareth School. It's only the beginning, but boy, what a start that was. 39-37 in set number 1. Pointed so far. If you missed it, the opener had a tally of 39-37 in favor of NU against UE. Begin things for set number 2. We actually have a gift for you guys here at the sideline because one of our UAAP greats, should we call you a UAAP great, Mr. Sumagay Sai?
Grabe, greats.
That's definitely one of the things that we can describe him now because he is one of the pros that we have, or at least he's now playing for club teams in the landscape of Philippine men's volleyball. This is JV Sumagay Sai, who played for UST in college. So you don't actually have a former school that you're supporting here, JV, no? But you are supporting men's and boys volleyball.
Yes, men's and boys volleyball talaga. Kasi nakita naman natin, first set pa lang natin, 37-39 na. And yung quality na meron yung pinapakita yung mga bata ngayon na kapag ikaw pumunta dito, hindi mo kilala yung mga bata, akalain mo, collegiate ang naglalaro. Ganong level na yung meron yung high school ngayon sa UAAP.
Actually, I told JV just a while ago na this could have been 40 points at least for us in set number 1. But he had a different prediction.
Kala ko
Prediction was
hanggang 50 eh.
50 points. It was that tight in the first set. And so I want you to describe just how high of quality, of caliber are you seeing right now in front of you? Paano mo ma-describe itong napapanood mo between UE and NU?
Unang-una yung kalibre na meron itong UE at NU ngayon is kakaiba talaga eh. Yung the way mag-isip si Sumagaysay, yung setter.
Yung setter. Hindi mo kapatid yun.
Hindi.
Hindi mo rin pinsan yun.
Frustrated setter lang ako. Pero ito si Sumagaysay, setter, and si Gallego, yung decision making nila hanggang dulo. Talagang, parang sila yung nag-showdown eh.
Well, in terms of the attackers, is there anybody impressing you so far? Maybe a middle blocker?
Si Lardizabal ng NU. And sa outside hitter naman, nandito si Makap.
Well, Macam is one of our MVP candidates. David Ardizabal did come up, and he did come alive in the clutch in set number 1. UE gets the first point here in set number 2. I want to ask you this, JV. Of course, if you compare yourself back in the day, nung high school ka pa, and you see now these players in front of you, ano yung masasabi mong advantages na meron in terms of style, in terms of abilities, yung meron yung players ngayon compared to how you were before?
Yung high school kasi ako, I never experienced playing volleyball talaga. College na ako naglaro ng volleyball. So, nakakatuwa kasi itong mga batang to ngayon, yung nilalaro nila na pang-collegiate na, ako nun, hindi ko pa alam kung ano yung volleyball. As in, zero talaga. So, ngayon, yung future ng men's volleyball na nakikita ko dahil sa pine-perform at pinapakita na itong dalawang teams ngayon dito sa finals ng UAP. Alam ko na may bright future ahead para sa men's volleyball talaga.
Well, you just mentioned, you actually compare these high school boys to the collegiate ranks already. Tingin mo ba, kung ilalagay mo sila ngayon sa isang tune-up game against collegiate teams, you think they stand a chance?
To be honest, wala pa din.
Wala pa, okay.
Wala pa din kasi gusto ko na ma-challenge pa rin naman sila.
Okay.
Kasi yung competition, hindi naman yan natatapos eh. So, para sa akin, kung malakas ka sa high school, pagdating mo ng college, back to zero ka. Kasi ibang ano na yun eh, ibang level na naman ng kompetensya.
At least that would keep these boys to be more motivated as they move on to the college ranks. I do tell you though, I've heard some stories wherein there would be some tune-up games na umaabot talagang 5 sets.
Yes.
High school versus college. That's how competitive they have been. As JJ Makam just gave us a hammer.
And 2 weeks ago yata, a week ago, naka-tune up namin to. Ito, boys ng UE.
Kamusta?
Nanalo kami in 5 sets pero di kita. 5 sets kasi pag tune up game ganun lagi nilalaro namin eh. 5 sets talaga. Pero yung score namin laging 25-23, 25-22, puro ganun lang. Sa dulo na lang talaga lumalabas yung pagiging matanda. Pagiging veterano, di ba?
At least they have that durability, their endurance going for themselves, as you just saw service errors on the side of UE courtesy of Lance Babon. But going back to what you said about your tune-up with UE, no? That's a tune-up game where you played for Iloilo ba?
Yes,
Navigators na.
Navigators.
So that's a team that already competes in the Spikers turf, just so
Yes,
everybody
this
knows.
Sunday.
Well, ngayon sa Sunday, meron kang PNDF Champions League coming right up. So good luck to you, JV. Right now, let's go back to the game as JJ Makam just put in another point for UE. They're off to a better start here. If you're a coach of UE, ano yung mga gusto mo makitang adjustments pa dito sa second half?
Yung adjustment na gagawin ko dito, ako yung coach ng UE, siguro yung floor defense natin na ito yung ano natin eh, ito yung pinakamatibay na specialty natin eh, yung floor defense na meron. Hindi tayo matatangkad katulad ng NU, pero yung floor defense na meron tayo, dun tayo lalamang. So, bandang dulo, dun sila nag-collapse. And yung nilaro neto ni Montemayor, yung first latter part of the game nung first set, medyo off siya. Pero buti na lang naka-recover silang dalawa ni Mahakam. Tsaka ito si Montemayor, nung padulo na, sila talaga yung nag-contribute para sa team.
Well, let's see if they can step up once more as they try to equalize this game in terms of sets. Unfortunately, that was an overhit by Sidon Montemayor, sending it straight to the sideline. Now, back to what you said about floor defense. If you think about it, Coach Rafi Mosuela was a former libero. Nakalaban mo pa yan.
Oo.
Diba? And so he does take a lot of pride with the floor defense of UE. Now, I'd like to get your thoughts about NU as they get the point here. Ikaw naman, ano pa ang gusto mo makita from the side of these Bulldogs?
Siguro, gusto ko makita dito sa side ng NU is more on combination attacks and yung net defense nila na talagang, ito kasi yung signature eh, kahit yung NU na collegiate, net defense talaga. Kung gaano katibay, minamaximize nila yung height na meron sila. So, ito yung kailangan ko makita pa na talagang pulido na yung sistema na meron ng Blackings ng NU.
Well, they do have a very tall front line. Even the setter, Jeff Gallego, is of decent height. He was a former opposite spiker himself. But you also mentioned the combination plays, which we actually saw quite a few, no? Especially at the latter part of set number 1. Pero ikaw ba, as a volleyball player, especially for the fans out there watching, no? How would you explain to us yung thinking ng isang setter, ng isang team, kung paano nyo ma-activate yung mga combination plays na yun? Diskarte lang ba yun? Or may kailangan kayong ibang paganahin in order to get to those combination plays?
As a middle blocker na din, syempre, ang kailangan natin yan, yung first latter part of the game, i-maximize muna, bumuo muna ng connection with the setter. Okay? So, para pagdating ng mid-game and latter part of the game, maging ano na tayo, effective decoy. So, doon napapasok sa padulo na yung mga combination plays.
There you have it. Isa-isahin muna ng setters bago pagsabay-sabayin, no? That's a perfect analysis coming from you, JD Sumagaysay. JJ Maca just gave us a service ace. Louis is definitely off to a better start here in set number 2. But obviously, as we saw in set number 1, comebacks are very much possible in this game. NU even led by as many as 4. UE led by as many as 3 before the back and forth as we saw in the extension. Makam will serve once more. Oh, that's low. How about the body language? May napapansin ka ba sa court na kakaiba? Or would you say na focus lang talaga, they're in tip-top shape describing these players?
Itong two teams na nasa harapan natin ngayon na nagpe-perform, it's all business eh. Aatake sila, dedepensa sila. Wala nang kakaiba pang action. Basta alam nila, gusto nilang kumuha ng puntos.
And that's definitely a good sign if you're watching this game as Montemayor hits again. An off-speed that time. Counter for Las Cunha. Hitting it down the line. Unfortunately, it sailed outside. Actually, I'm curious to ask you, if you went through a long first set, syempre medyo nakakapagod yun. Even mentally nakakapagod yun, no? Ano yung effect dun sa'yo sa second set?
Sa akin kasi, ang volleyball kasi, iba yan kumpara sa basketball na, kung sa basketball, first quarter, lamang yung kalaban, second quarter, lamang pa rin sila eh. Pero sa volleyball, first set, lamang nanalo kayo, second set, back to 0 tayo. Panibago na naman. So, kailangan mong i-relax yung isip mo hanggang sa makakuha nyo yung tamang composure.
There you have it. It just adds up to the challenge mentally, not just physically for these players as we are now at 10-6 in set number 2. JB Sumagaysay, thank you for your time and your analysis. Of course, your experience as well that you have shared to us. Best of luck to you in your upcoming leagues.
Thank you.
Salamat, JB. All right. So it is 10-6, as I mentioned, UE up top by 4 here in set number 2. And let's see if they can continue here. Or will NU give us a nice response? As we saw in set number 1, if one coach calls a timeout, usually his team responds immediately. And it happened for both sides. JJ Maca telling us that that trend should not continue, especially if you're a UE player. Giving us another point as Yuan Mendoza checks in for NU. This will be his first appearance in this match. He was a usual starter in round number 1 of this tournament. But ever since, he has been one of the more reliable players and attackers off the bench. Yuan called upon immediately. He could not deliver. Counter for UE. Makam with the tip. Gallego. Back row from the opposite. That's Kobe Akaak. And here's Babon. Against 3 blockers, he scores. (12-6) now This is the biggest lead that we have seen in this match so far. What a response for UE. That's definitely a testament to their mental stability and their resilience in this game. Oh, there's a touch there. Off the blocker. Point for Yuan Mendoza. His first point in this matchup. Seven serving 12. Miguel Eager. Lance Babon. Oh, tough chase there for Abot. Mendoza will have to send it through. Cuadra with a dig. Running push for Pulientes. Counter, Lardizabal. Great save by Cyron Montemayor. And Gallego will now go back to his middle blocker in David Lardizabal. JB did tell us he has been impressed by the performance of David so far in this game. Good for him to come alive once more. But can he, Miguel Eager and the rest of NU, actually pull off a comeback? The lead is 4. Eager taking his time. Ball in, straight to JJ. Sumagay side to Pulientes. A quick answer from the middle blocker of UE on the other end. Luis Pulientes is one of the graduating players of UE alongside Andrel Cuadra, JJ Macap, Cyron Montemayor, Carl Reyes, and John Sumagay-Sai. Let's see if he can win a chip before he goes. Nice block by Clarence Gianan. He totally felt that one. 14-8 now. Pulientes getting ready again. Gallego to the open. That's long. An absolute overhit by Yuan Mendoza. He quickly apologizes. We actually seen some hits like that here and there. And it usually has an intention of getting a check ball. Unfortunately, it was just unsuccessful for Yuan. 15-8 now. Oh, it's short for Luis Pulientes. Causing some dismay for Coach Rafi Masuela. Pulientes will now take a breather, and Andrel Cuadra, the most vocal leader of UE, returns as their libero. 9 serving 15 now. Jeff Gallego. Ball up, not the best of receives though. Back row, that's JJ Macam, who did not get help from the net. Instead, the ball sailed straight outside. Jeff Gallego now. Combination. Oh, what a save by Lance Babon. The players were near each other. There was almost a collision. And normally in volleyball, you really have to avoid each other because ankle sprains are so common and so dangerous. And everybody just jumping up and down. (16-10). That's long. Another service error for UE. It seems like we just got word that the challenge system is now up and running. So the cards are on the floor for the assistant coaches. (11) serving 16. Ball up by Cuadra. There's the look and the set by Sumagay-Sai. Gallego to counter. Matthew Abot finding an empty zone. That's zone number 5. Now we have a timeout for Coach Rafi Masuela. Take a look at it once more. It's a beautiful find for Matthew Abot. Back inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in the city of San Juan. This is game number 1 of the finals between NU and UE in the UAAP High School Boys Division. Tianan tried to score a point to no avail. Tough save there by NU. Now there's a back row hit. That works for Siron Montemayor. As JV Sumagaysay said, Siron started slow in this game, but eventually got things going by the latter part of set number 1. It's definitely what you would want to see if you're UE. You have JJ Makam at the right pin. That's why Siron Montemayor has to step up even more alongside Lance Babon as the open spikers for the Red Warriors. On the other end, it's Kobe Aka stepping up to the plate to score that point from his usual angle, the right side. 13-17 now. Here's the serve for David Lardizabal. Received by Babon. Montemayor going cross. One more chance here for UE. That's denied by Miguel Eager. A beautiful read at the middle. Coach Rafi upset there. Now JJ Makam and John Sumagaysay are having a conversation. You would not want your lead to be erased if you're UE. Makam is rejected. Back-to-back blocks for NU. And Sumagaysay now hear it from Coach Rafi Mosuela. It's 15 serving 17. Montemayor approaches. Coverage was there. Makam from the other side. That's outside. Now we are going to see a change in setters for UE as Sumagaysay checks out. Ralph Mosuela will now return in this game. Can he make a big difference? Because the lead is almost erased completely. For UE, it's at 17-16. NU to try to equalize. Gianan with a response. A badly needed response for the Red Warriors. (18-16). Ball up by Sherwin Retiro. And here's Kobe. Against 3 blockers, he scores. JJ Makam thought immediately that he had to adjust his arms. Send that ball to the other side. Lead back down to 1. Served by Kobe Akaak. And it's the middle blockers working oh so well for UE now. Polientes giving us another point. (19-17). JJ Makam will be serving. Ball up by Retiro. Chase for NU. Naibalik ni Mosuela. Counter now. Cross-court hit for Matthew Abbott. And now we're back to the trend in set number 1. An early lead erased. And you're seeing a back and forth. Remember, or for those of you who missed it, set number 1 was settled with a score of 39-37. It's now 19-18. Montemayor. Rejected. Back set. Makam. That doesn't work. Yuan Mendoza now ties the ball game up. 19-all. And NU looking to go up 2 sets to none here in the finals. Can they grab the lead? Deadlock at 19. Matthew Abbott serves. Sharp serve there. And the 1-2 doesn't work for Ralph Mossuela. So Magaysay will now return to replace the youngster. NU now has the advantage, 20-19. Here's Matthew Abbott. Straight to the back. Montemayor going cross. Abbott put it up. Ball chased by Retiro. And a free ball now for UE. They go to the slide. Nice push by Luis Polientes. He hung in the air. He knew that he was in trouble. That's why the emergency button for him to just check that ball out. Off the hands of Juan Mendoza. 20 all in set number 2. That's in! The ball wasn't read well by Sherwin Retiro. And Siron Montemayor, it's a sigh of relief. That's an absolute float serve. Another float. Gallego. Combination. Push. Ooh! Tough save there for Siron. Had to dive for the ball. But it wasn't enough. 21 all. Miguel Eager. Ball up by Macam. Sumagaysay to Babon. That's off in the hands of Gallego. By the way, Lance Babon has been mighty impressive today in terms of his variety of hits. He hasn't relied too much on his power. Really more of just his intelligence. 22-21. Luis Polientes. That's out. Service error UE. Tied up at 22. We're reaching that point of the set once again. Jeff Gallego to serve. Ball up by Andril Cuadra. Back row hit, JJ Macam. Oh, he crossed. Violation for the attacker. Timeout, Coach Rafi. Now NU has the advantage. Look at the foot of JJ. There you go. That's an absolute cross. NU was actually down for most of the set, but they kept at it. They stayed resilient against these UE Junior Red Warriors led by JJ Macam. As for David Lardizabal and the rest of NU Nazareth School, their efforts have all been worth it because now they have the lead, 23-22. Full rotation, full front line as Gallego serves. That's a nice receive. Babon hangs in the air to hit that ball. Counter now for NU, Juan Mendoza. That goes back to him. That went back to him, so it's a block point. There you go, single coverage, no problem. That's Babon. Mendoza now sits back as Cart Lascuna returns, the starter for Coach Edgar Baroga in this game. 23 all. JV, sorry, that's John Sumagaysay. Gallego on to Kobe Akaak. Well put up gracefully by Sumagaysay. Off-speed hit. Briones now to the left pin. Another off-speed hit. Back row, Montemayor pushes. Tough save there by Gallego. Akaak rejected at the net. One more time, Cart Lascuna. Defense was there, Quadra. Babon. Ball deflected, nice rally. Ooh, unfortunately, that second ball just absolutely sailed the wrong way from David Lardizabal. Now we have a timeout. Set point for UE. So now, David Lardizabal and the rest of NU will look to counter the serve of John Sumagaysay. It's set point UE. If NU gets this next point, then we have another extended set. Much like what happened in set number 1, that was settled with a score of 39-37. Jake Briones got the first ball. There's the approach by Kobe Akaak. Met at the net. This time it's Cart Lascuna with a hammer. He just came out of nowhere. And guess what? For the first 2 sets in these finals, we are extended. 24 all. Cart Lascuna serves. Straight to Andre Quadra. Over received though. A chance now. Kobe Akaak down the line. Set point NU. And this is such a beautiful chance for them to go up 2-0 in these finals. 25-24. Miss receive by Andre Quadra. Babon. He gave it out to the other end. Gallego. That doesn't work for Kobe. Counter for Lance. What a block! Net defense prevailing for NU. Much to the delight of the crowd inside the Fit Oil Eco Oil Center. Wow, Kobe Akaak with an attack point and a block point to end things in set number 2. Let's see some highlights. It was such a nice start for JJ Makam and the rest of UE. I'm sure a lot of people thought that they were about to pull away already, but then NU had a quick answer off of these hits. Gladys Giannon and the rest of UE. There you have it. UN Mendoza had his time in set 2 before the re-emergence of Kobe Akaak. 2 extended.